The 1 year anniversary of GNX is tomorrow. And for all my OGs, and I mean the OGs that's been on this channel, I'm pretty sure that you've seen my series I Deserve It All, which was basically documenting the steps after Kendrick Lamar declared with this song, Man at the Garden. And I'll get into what I mean by declared as we break down this song. But it's ironic because this saga of Man at the Garden has actually continued. Because initially, when Man at the Garden drops, this is before he sweeps the Grammys. This is before the Super Bowl stadium. This is Super Bowl performance. This is before the stadium tour. This is before all of the accolades that have been pouring in for Kendrick Lamar. And what we really gonna do here is break down how this isn't something that's just for Kendrick Lamar. Like, this is something that if you are able to align and adjust your frequency and recognize that you are worthy, right? Worthy of whatever it is that you want, because you're born here, right? Not because you have this, you have that, or you did, but you're born. So automatically the abundance is yours. And what we talk about in the other videos is that Kendrick Lamar, throughout his music, you hear him consistently talk about survivor's guilt, right? Surviving something, or surviving a situation, or surviving an environment that others did not get to survive. Something that you came out of that others didn't get to survive, where other people didn't get to come with you, right? The things that brings onto people, the type of heaviness, or the type of guilt, or whatever that brings to people, can be debilitating. And the opposite side of that lack of self-worth, or that savior complex, or whatever, is the worthiness, the self-worthiness, recognizing that it doesn't take external things, external possessions, external validation, whatever, for you to recognize that your value is already here based on your existence alone. The fact that you're walking around, breathing, talking, you've experienced love, fear, all this different stuff. You have a unique perspective, a unique idea, and a unique experience. This is what makes you special. And when people tap into that energy, you automatically attract everything that is for you, right? And if you believe that you were blessed, then these will be blessings. And this is what I hear when I listen to the song. So what we're going to do is break down the song and the lyrics first. Then we're going to break down the situation and this current situation that's been going on, where Kendrick Lamar's success is being used against him, and how that amplifies this song even more. Okay? So first, in this first verse, all you're hearing is these positive affirmations. Twice emotional stability, a sound body and tranquility. I deserve it all. Light minds and less enemies. Stock investments, more entities. I deserve it all. VVS's, white diamonds. Like, even the material things. Because why not? I feel like, especially when you go on your spiritual journey, like Kendrick Lamar has, there could be this idea of, especially when you listen to Kendrick's music, of like, that chain is not gone, and looking at this idea of having these things as something that is anti-underground, or something that is anti people first, or like, you get what I'm saying? Just really indulging in what comes with the capitalist system can also feel like you're doing something wrong. And I feel like when you listen to Kendrick's music, there's a lot of times where you hear him struggle with this. You hear him struggle with his success and the things that he's gaining, and what that really means, and what position that puts him in the culture, right? The problem is that perspective is aligned with the outside perception. This song, in my perspective, while connecting it to Kendrick's other music, is him saying, no, regardless of what you think, regardless of how my success makes you feel, regardless of my abundance and my light makes you shrink or makes you dim, that does not mean that I don't deserve everything that is called to me. And one of the most difficult things in life to do, I think, when you come from this that experience in this environment, is receiving, especially when you grow up in hypermasculine environments, because now there's not really energy to learn how to receive because you just in the masculine. Where the feminine is where you practice and learn to receive, which is why I think Kendrick mentioned that in his interview with SZA, right? Because it's extremely important. So put my homies on the beachfront, flying private, what you eat for lunch, out of the respect and the accolades. The respect and the accolades. And this is why tomorrow I plan on talking about. No, I'm gonna do it tomorrow morning. I'm gonna break down a Wale song as well, because Wale's album reminds me of the fact that they don't have to be separate. And I said this in an interview that I just did that's gonna come out soon, but that the quality of your lyricism and the message does not have to be separate from the good feel vibe and having a great time. Wale shows this. Wale shows this in Everything Is a Lot, where he's able to make bangers, get on songs like with Shabuzi and make, you know what I'm saying, and transition over while also maintaining, you know, the lyricism, maintaining the storytelling and all that. Something Kendrick Lamar does. Usually, they want to separate this. You can't have the quality and the industry, right? Which is the accolades. You can't have the quality, the integrity, and the things that come with it. And what we're seeing is the fact that that doesn't have to be true. The quality music can be the most rewarded music. The music that's good can be the most rewarded music. The most talented individual that puts his time into this work can be the biggest artist in the world. Like, that's what we're talking about here, okay? So the respect and the accolades, they don't have to be separate. For every good person, nigga that passed away, sent 2.5 million on an average day. Right, we 7 minutes of video. I can say whatever, but sent 2.5 million on an average day. For every negative situation, for every person that I lost, for everything that I experienced a negative, bring me abundance. For everything that I lost in the past, bring me abundance now. That's the wielding the frequency around you, wielding the energy of the world around you. You see what I'm saying? Keep my name by the world leaders. Keep my crowds loud inside of beats. I deserve it all. More money, more power, more freedom. Everything heaven allowed us. Why do you think that's so important to state? Why do you think that's so important to state? Because a lot of the times, especially when you are, you know, we've been listening to Kendrick Lamar for years. High Power. You go back to songs like High Power. And you think about his perspective on the industry and all that different stuff, right? There could be a negative concept or a negative outlook on money. Or when you come from certain environments where there wasn't a lot of money. Or when you hear things like money gonna change and blah, 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 and all that different stuff, you can look at money from a negative perspective. Money can be looked at in a negative light. When, once again, it doesn't have to be. It's all about perception and perspective and what you do with that. So, yes, there could also be this idea that the closer you are to God, the less you should have this. Money, power, and freedom. And I think this song is one of those things that is saying, that doesn't have to be the case. I can do all of this. I can wield all of this. It is difficult, but it takes discipline, submission, intention, and all these different things to make this, to still walk with God, to still walk in your light and have this, right? It's possible. And that's why this song is so powerful. Here we go. I deserve it all because my intentions was pure, right? And this is the thing. Your intentions and what you do sometimes don't align. Another thing that Kendrick Lamar expresses in his music consistently, right? But your intentions, your energy, the universe isn't reading from a perspective of good and bad. It's reading from a perspective of what do you really want from the root, and I'll give it to you. And that's why when you're operating from runes, you sometimes wonder like, damn, why do I keep attracting the same thing over and over again, the same event over and over again. It's because that's actually what you wanted, because you're operating from the wound, right? This, I think Mr. Morale and this song too is like, Mr. Morale is like digging up all the dirt out of the wound, right? And kicking it to the side. And GNX is like what it looks like when, the scab is starting to look like your skin. You feel what I'm saying? When the scab is no longer scabby, it's starting to look like the skin. You feel me? And that's my perspective of Mr. Morale to GNX. And when you hear, because my intentions was pure. Yes, Kendrick got into this game with a certain intention. He might have did things wrong, went this way, doing this way. But at the end of the day, he always came back to the root and the source, right? And that's what we can do in our everyday lives in order to continue to attract what's for us. Even when you weren't sure, even with every allure, how much temptation you endured, you probably look for every cure. How many times have you looked to temptation or looked to your vices to soothe you, right? This is why I deserve it all. Because I have gone through this. I've been through the temptation. I've been through the allures. I've been through what it looks like to lose things because of your vices or because of your direction at that time, right? He says, I know what that's like, and I've defeated, like he said, it reincarnated, right? Took control of my fleshly body when the money came, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like I deserve it all because I endured that and I came back to myself. I came back to the root. I fought through all of the noise and and I'm still my heart is still at its source. That's why I deserve it all, right? I'm waking up at 6 a.m., 6 miles a day, conditioning my wind. I said I deserve it all. I'm showing up as your friend, telling the truth better than your next to kin. I deserve it all because I'm doing the work. I'm running miles. I'm trying to get my wind up. You feel me? So I can do these performances, so I can be in my best shape. I'm waking up early to get my day started early so I can not react to the day, but dictate the day. Ooh, hold on. That was download. That's something I did. Ooh, that was tough. So 6 miles a day conditioning my wind. I said I deserve it all. I'm showing up as your friend, telling the truth better than your next to kin. I never asked for too much credit, seeking that validation just for the aesthetics. I deserve it all. I seen you as a human first, even when you didn't understand your worth. I deserve it all. I seen you as a human, even through your trials and tribulations, just like the ones I went through. I was able to see, I seen you as human. So that's why I deserve it all too. I seen you as a person, even through all of your downfall, right? It's innate to mind my business, writing words, trying to elevate these trips, and that's why I deserve it all. Pray for those who prayed against me. Every reason that my ancestors sent me, I deserve it all. This is another reason why, I feel like you can see, and this is one of the things I've been saying, right? And I did a live where I was going back and forth with some of the viewers, right? Respectfully, of course, talking about, the amount of compassion that's important, regardless of what you have to do, but still trying to maintain that compassion. When you do that, you take responsibility away from the quote unquote enemy, right? You take responsibility away from them and you give it to yourself. If you say, I'm only doing this to you because you're doing this to me, there's no responsibility in that, right? Responsibility is saying, I know you're human, right? And I know what could have driven you to do this. However, I am still going to take responsibility for what I get to do here, protect myself, defend myself, or even ignore whatever it is. I still have that compassion regardless of what I'm about to do. You feel what I'm saying? And those two things can exist because we are not Jesus. You feel what I'm saying? We're not Jesus. And there could be shame from not being Jesus, but it's like, then you always going to be ashamed. That's why Jesus came around. Put a smile on my mama, good health and good karma. She deserve it all. 100 murals out in Compton. Remember me, I kept my promise. We deserve it all. Like, this is just, once again, him breaking down, I deserve every last thing. You know what I'm saying? My family, the people, We all, Compton, everybody, we deserve it all. You see what I'm saying? And then this feels like, notice how he lets his energy picks up. Notice how his energy picks up. Now, I want to open the screen up for this one because this is, you feel me? Notice how his energy picks up when he starts talking about keep these bitch niggas away from me, keep all my blessings faithfully, keep my essence contagious, that's okay with me. I burn this. With somebody, once again, everything we've been talking about, the survivor guilt, all that different stuff, these are things that make you shrink in the light to make sure not to, you know what I'm saying, make people feel small, etc. These are things that the habits that pick up when you do have survivor's guilt or when you do have these situations. Because survivor's guilt is essentially being ashamed for your success, being ashamed for making it out, being ashamed for doing great because other people aren't doing great, right? Him doing this, especially because that energy that builds up of you naturally wanting to say something or express something and letting it out, that comes up because that's the time to release. When you press that down, your body is now consuming that energy that is surrounded around what you need to release, which is affecting your actions, which is affecting your thoughts, which is affecting your perception. So when I see Kendrick do this, especially because Kendrick did therapy, right? And I think Kendrick did more than therapy because in his video, Count Me Out, Kendrick Lamar is being lifted up in the air by a whole bunch of people. His arms are out, right? And his legs are out. And from what it looks like to me, that's called a cradle, which I'm actually willing to break down. I get into a breakdown of Count Me Down. That's another one. I'm going to put that down. We'll get into the Count Me Down video because when you do workshops, there's certain things that happen in those workshops. And it is therapy, but it's more community-based, which is why I think workshops are better than therapy. But in those workshops, there's these things called cradles, right? Where people lift you in the air, and it's almost as after you might have released something really big or went through activities where you have to face fears and face yourself. You get lifted in the air, and it's like a new feeling of freedom. It's a new feeling of, it's your rebirth after letting all that go, right? This is how this part of the verse reminds me of what you do right before the cradle. And then when you do this in your own time, right? When you really finally let that out, like, fuck it. That's what it sounds like to me that Kendrick is doing. He's letting all of that out. Like, keep these dudes away from me. Keep all my feffers blessings faithfully. Keep my essence contagious. That's okay with me. I burn this thing down. Don't you play with me. I'm crashing out right now. Ain't no. You feel what I'm saying? This is him letting all of that out. And releasing that into this song, I guarantee you, is the ultimate reason or one of the main reasons that he is in overflow of receiving. In overflow. Kendrick is receiving. These are the lessons we can learn from these songs. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, but before I keep breaking down this song, let me break down why it's more relevant now than ever. And you know what? I'm not even gonna bring no pictures up or nothing. We just gonna do it. So when you look around, right, and you got people saying Kendrick Lamar is a Grammy darling, all this different stuff, you're now realizing that Kendrick's success is being used against him, right? In order to discredit what he does. They're doing the same thing to TDE too. But Kendrick's success is being used against him. They're calling him an industry plant. They even started, the Illuminati videos on Kendrick is coming out. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like they are using his success against him, right? And when you look at it from that perspective, that makes this song even more powerful. Because you write the song before people see all the stuff that makes them bring up these ideologies, right? Or the propaganda makes them, but the optics make it, the propaganda believable. After this song, right, you get the Super Bowl, all this credibility, boom, boom. It's the most impactful Super Bowl really ever, in my opinion. Halftime performance ever, in my opinion. The way people were breaking it down, all this different stuff, they still breaking it down. Facts. You go do the stadium tour, performing in stadiums worldwide the whole year, right? This is in a level of overflow that has not been seen in hip hop. You feel what I'm saying? And I think a lot of that is due to, of course, his consistency, his work, his integrity, his diligence, all this different stuff. But at the same time, it's that energy, that perspective switch. Because you can have all of these things and still not have what was for you. Right? And that's the important thing, right? Is to recognize that even when you have these things, you might not have what's specifically for you. And people can't believe that Kendrick Lamar is in this overflow. So there has to be the reason. So it has to be, industry plant. Grammy darling. The industry is working with Kendrick. No, people are confused because hip hop of this level hasn't received and been rewarded this much ever. So they're confused. You're supposed to bend and over to succeed. You're supposed to be like a Drake and commodify what, you know what I'm saying, the culture is, and commodify what you in order to expand and extend your career. It's something that I think everybody experiences and goes through at some point. That's the battle of the world. I feel like you have to go through that at some point. The thing is, you can't be afraid to shine and receive what is yours, regardless of how people feel about it. Because if you do, you will continue to delay what is rightfully yours. And because other people are delaying what's rightfully theirs, they won't like that. But the problem is, everybody doesn't know that they are worthy of overflow. Everyone doesn't know that. So when they look at your overflow, there's a problem. But no, you can have the same overflow. The problem is, it might not look exactly like that person's overflow. The overflow that's going to put you at the highest level of your existence, which might not lead to money and property and all this different stuff, might just be family, friends, and abundance in that area. That might be where your abundance is, especially considering that your relationships are the most important thing that you can have. There's people that are happier with nothing because their relationships are strong than people who have all of these physical things, but they have no relationships. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what this is about. That's what Man at the Garden is about. It's about, yes, even in the adversity of all these people saying you don't deserve this, the reason why you're getting this is because of this. You will all this different stuff. You gotta stand firm, and it's difficult to do, but you gotta stand firm and keep that energy of receiving. And that energy you're receiving there's other things but take what's for you, and ignore what's not. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's just reality. And I think it's very interesting that you're seeing this play out in this way. Imagine a Man at the Garden video right before the Grammys. Like, the amount of perception switch that would make. Like, Kendrick is, while everybody is saying I guarantee you, from this song and the perspective of this song, I guarantee you Kendrick is just allowing himself to receive regardless. And if we can all, as human beings, get to that point, stay at that point, and be still in that point, our lives will be something we never could have possibly imagined. You feel what I'm saying? Because, yeah, God got something for everybody that I think the ultimate blessing that God has for you, I feel like it'd be impossible to imagine it. But you can feel it. You can feel it, what you're going to feel like when you see it. You can feel that before you get there, because in reality, it's already happened. That's why you feel so negative about, certain events that might have not happened. You assume things go a certain way or boom, boom, because you haven't experienced it, but you still feel that. That's because in some different possibility, it's probably taking place. But depending on where your mind frame is, that's where you're going to go. That's the path you're going to go on. So, yeah, just a reminder, GNX is coming out. The GNX anniversary is tomorrow. So, super grateful for the music in general and these discussions. And honestly, we're going to get back to these discussions because I'm going to put the I Deserve It All Part 1 and Part 2 up here so you can watch it if you're new. But yeah, just going back and watching those videos and boom, boom, boom. Let's get back to on this channel for sure. Just the deeper message. That's what this YouTube channel was about, and that's what it should continue to be about. The number one thing I think. There's a lot going on in the world. There is a lot going on in the world, but reacting to what's going on in the world ain't really going really do much. You know what I'm saying? And that's me talking to whoever feels in a similar way. You feel me? We have to focus on changing inside, right? And that was the intention when I started this, to use the music, right, to explain these greater points. And yeah, we have been doing that, but with more intention, with more time, with more effort, with more depth, with more authenticity. Like, not more authenticity, with authenticity. You feel me? And this is, yeah, we're gonna keep breaking this stuff down. And I'm digging into multiple catalogs. Pac, Nas, even this Wale album. I want to do Wale next at 9. We'll drop that tomorrow morning. But yeah, just we're gonna get back into. I'll probably do another one on the Deity next too, like maybe like Reincarnated or something. But we're gonna get back to doing this, talking about the music and really dissecting the music and taking advantage of the way my brain dissects music. And we're just gonna keep doing that. You feel what I'm saying? So appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. And hey y'all, these I'm about to move on from it's about to get surgical shirts. I think I want to do a new shirt. I definitely want to move on from it's about to get surgical shirts. So once these it's about to get surgical shirts are through, I'm not gonna print them no more. I'm gonna finish. They're gonna be finished. So grab them down below. You feel me? Grab, because you know we're gonna keep growing, keep making history, etc. You're gonna have a shirt that nobody else gonna have access to in the future. So keep grabbing your it's about to get surgical shirts. My first merch on YouTube. Take that, hold it dear. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, I want to build stronger community on this channel, build stronger connections with y'all individually too, you know. So I'm working on my time management and all of that. But yeah, I hope this video helps somebody out there today. And even if it not really help, because I'm not telling y'all nothing you don't already know. You feel me? So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all, man.